Hi there, I'm Becky and I'm with MSCR Fitness. Today we're doing a Gentle X class. We have some equipment that's ideal if you have. A sturdy chair is going to be really important. Something that has a flat back and a flat bottom so that you can sit upright. A water bottle, I'm going to stay hydrated. I have an alternate to ankle weights. So if you have ankle weights, that's ideal. If not, I have some old socks that I filled with a pound of beans in each one. You can use beans, rice, anything like that. Then tying the socks together, they make a great alternative for an ankle weight. I have heavier and lighter weights. If you have anything that you can carry safely at home. So if you can hold canned goods safely, you can use that. You can have a plastic jug that you fill with water until it feels like it's the right weight. You can use laundry detergent bottles, anything that you can hold on to and feel safe, that you're not going to drop it or hurt yourself. In general, listen to your body. That's the most important thing. So you want to find that balance between working hard but not overworking, making sure that you're really listening to what your body's okay with. And of course, if a doctor or physical therapist has told you not to do something, please don't do it, even if I do it. So I'm going to set my equipment to the side. We're going to start with a little warm-up. Ideally, you're on a hard surface, so hardwood or anything else where your foot's not going to catch. If you are on carpet, make sure you're lifting your feet up as you're moving. So starting just by walking, letting your shoulders move, feeling your body start to warm up. I know in these times we tend to be really hunched down. You're doing a lot more sitting. So just letting yourself feel what your body feels like as it starts to move. Good, keeping your belly strong, shoulders over your hips, staying tall here as we start opposite hand to knee. So your knee is coming straight up and your hands are crossing over. You're using your core muscles to stabilize your body. So your body is pointed forward, just the hands are crossing over. In general, higher and faster is harder. So if you want to increase the challenge, you can do that. If you want to decrease the challenge, you can do that. Again, paying attention to what's okay for your body. 3, 2, shifting to heels up. So your knees are staying down and back as your heels lift. I'll move to the side so you can see. If your knees are moving forward, the front of your body is doing the work. If your knees are staying still, those thigh muscles are doing the work. So that's what you want to focus on right now. Getting the back of your thighs to wake up. 3, 2, back to opposite hand to knee. Maybe you're moving a little higher or a little faster now. Just, again, paying attention to what your body is okay with. Breathing here. I tell people if you're moving and breathing, you're doing it right. Keeping that jaw soft, core strong. 3, 2, back to heels up. Keeping your knees down and back. Going at your own pace, so maybe that's the same speed as me, maybe it's slower, maybe it's faster. So the great part about being at home right now is that you can pause the video, you can fast forward it, do whatever you need to get the exercise that's perfect for your body. 3, 2, a little different. Opposite hand to knee, other hand extending up. So again, this can be a little reach, or it can be a bigger reach. Really listening to what your shoulder's okay with. No strain here, just waking the muscles up. 3, 2, again switching. This time hands out to the side and down like a bird as your heels lift. You'll notice there's no music here, that's so that you can more easily hear and understand me. But if you want to put on music in the background to make this a little bit more fun, feel free to do that. 3, 2, and walk in place. Letting those shoulders move. Shifting out of half jacks. One foot's going to stay anchored as you step out to the side and back. So that one foot stays connected to the ground as your other foot steps out. This can be a little movement, so small feet, small hands, or medium, or bigger, whatever's okay, again, for your body. 2 more on this side, then we're going to switch to the other side. So now our other foot stays anchored as we step out to the opposite side. Still breathing. Two more in this direction, then we're going to alternate sides. So you, again, always have one foot anchored, stepping out to the middle, other side to the middle. Adding a little mental workout, your feet are going to continue to move in the same pattern as your hands go forward and back. Getting the body to move in 2 different directions takes a lot of work between the hemispheres of your brain, so a great mental exercise. 1 more on each side, and back to a walk. Good, bring your feet a little bit wider than hip distance apart. You can start with your toes staying touching the ground as you're shifting from one side to the other. If you want a little more challenge, you can let that toe come up. Feeling your hips do the work to catch your balance. You can add a pause to make it even more difficult. Again, finding the pace that's right for your body. 1 more on each side, and back to a walk. Good, 1 foot forward, the other foot back. Same thing, shifting your weight forward now, or back, forward, and back. Your front heel and back toe can stay connected for more stability, or for more challenge, you can lift the feet up as you shift your weight forward and back. 1 more in each direction, and back to a walk. Good, shifting to the other side. You might find that one side is a little easier than the other, so you may have to keep your heel and toe down for one side. That's okay. Again, paying attention to what your body needs. You want your balance to be challenged here, but not so much that you fall over. No falling. Shifting that weight forward and back 1 more time, and back to a walk. Good, we're going to bring our chair in now. It's a great time to grab a sip of water if you want. Again, staying hydrated, especially as we start to warm up through the summer. We're starting with our ankle weights or sock weights. So if you have ankle weights, you can go ahead and strap those on. If you have sock weights, you're going to drape your sock weight over the top of your ankle. So the part where the socks are tied together, that goes over the top of your ankle. For this exercise, the further back you are in your chair, the easier it is. The further forward you are in your chair, the harder it is. So you can adapt and find the fit that's right for your body. Lifting up tall, shoulders stay over your hips, don't curl forward. Keep a nice tall spine as your toe comes up and holds. 3, 2, 1, and down. Coming up and holding, but not your breath. 3, 2, 1, and down. Keeping that tall spine, breathing. 2, 1. 2 more. Again, you can do more or fewer depending on what's okay for your body. And down. Last one. 3, 2, 1, and down. Shake your legs out. Good. Switching to the other side. Lifting up tall, keeping your shoulders over your hips. Letting your foot come up and holding. 3, 2, 1, and down. Really making sure your core is engaged and your spine stays long. So it's not helpful if your body's crouched over. Feeling those big thigh muscles do the work. Keeping your breath going, keeping your jaw soft. And down. 2 more. 3, 2, 1, and down. Last one, nice tall spines. 3, 2, 1, and down. Shake your legs out. Good, you can bring your sock weight with you. Scooching toward the front of your chair, pull your feet underneath you, feet hip distance apart. Lean forward, nose over toes, and push your feet into the ground, squeezing your glutes to do the work to slowly lift you up. Coming behind your chair, you can hold on to the chair for balance. You're going to drape the ankle weight over the back of your ankle. Keeping your toes pointed keeps that ankle weight a little bit more secure. You can do this without weights or with an actual ankle weight if you want. Lifting up tall out of the hip you're standing on, keep the knee of the leg you're standing on soft. Let your knees stay touching each other. If your knee drifts forward, again, the front of your leg is doing the work. So knees stay touching as your heel comes up. 2, 1, and down. Lifting up. Again, holding for as long or as little as feels okay for your body. You want your muscles challenged, but not so much that you're like, I can do it! Working, but not overworking. And down. 2 more, still lifting up tall out of that hip that you're standing on. And down. Last one on the side. Keeping the knee back, heart tall, and down. Good. Release the ankle weight and switch to the other side. So hooking the ankle weight over the back of your ankle, keeping your toe pointed, helps keep that sock weight on. Knees stay touching each other, lifting tall out of your hip as you lift. 3, 2, 1, and down. Breathing. 2, 1, and down. Lifting, keeping that knee down and back. Your other knee is soft. And down. 2 more. 3, 2, 1, and down. Last one on this side. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. Good. Set that sock weight down. Walk a little bit. Good. Having a seat, so the back of your legs will touch the back of the chair, drifting your way down. The last inch is a drift, not a plop, and sit. Good. Grabbing those sock weights again. If you don't have sock weights, you can use a pillow or a full roll of paper towels, anything that has a little give that you can put between your thighs. So those sock weights, or whatever tool you're using, between your thigh muscles, not on the knee joint, but on the thighs themselves. Squeezing your thighs together, engaging your pelvic floor. This is often called a kegel, where you squeeze your pelvic floor muscles. 2, 1, and soften. Shake your legs a little bit. Good. As you're doing this, making sure you're breathing and that your pelvic floor muscles are staying engaged the whole time. We tend to engage them and the brain says, I'm tired of that. So make sure you're really focusing on keeping those pelvic floor muscles strong. And soften. Engaging again. Keeping that pelvic floor engaged, shoulders relaxed. And soften. 2 more. Feeling your inner thighs and your pelvic floor working hard. Breathing. And soften. Good. 1 more. Squeezing. Shoulders relaxed, pelvic floor strong, jaw soft, breathing. 3, 2, 1, and relax. Shake your legs out. Good. Setting the sock weight or ankle weights aside, lifting up tall, feet hip distance apart. You're going to press the flat of your palm into the muscles just above the kneecap. So you're not pressing on the knee itself, but on your thigh muscles just above the knees. Shoulders back and down, elbows straight. Gently pressing your palms into your thighs. If you feel your back working here, don't press quite as hard. I'm going to focus on your abdominal muscles, engaging here. So again, if your back is working, don't press quite as hard. If you want a little more work, you can think about pushing your knees up against your hands. 3, 2, 1. Soften and shake it out. Good. Lifting up tall, shoulders back and down, elbows straight. Pressing your thighs, pressing your hands into your thigh muscles. Feeling your belly, not your back, doing the work here. Breathing. You might start to feel your belly shake a little bit. This is a great core exercise. It's safe for the back, but really works those abdominal muscles. And soften, shake it out. I'll often do this if I'm cold, heats me right up. Lifting up tall, pressing your hands into your thighs, again, elbows soft but straight, shoulders back and down, chin parallel with the floor. 3, 2, 1. We'll do some variations here, so you're always going to have at least one hand pressing against your thigh, lifting up tall, pressing both hands. One set of hands and arms is going to lift up and back down, breathing the whole time, engaging that hand, let the other side lift up and back down. So you always have at least one hand pressing, feeling your core doing the work to support you. One more on each side. Last one. And down. Shake that. Good. Coming toward the front of your chair, pull your feet underneath you, lean forward, nose over toes, push your heels into the ground to lift yourself up. You can either have your hands on your hips in the back, or you can have soft fists, or you can have your hands on the side, depending on what your shoulders are okay with. Your hips are going to stay still as you're going to lift up through the ribs and come back down. So your knees are soft, hips are still, lifting the sternum up toward the sky and back down. One more time, lifting up, feeling the length through your belly and back down. Good. Now it's time to use our weights, so go ahead and gather those. We're going to start with our slightly heavier weights. If you have two options, using your heavier weights for bicep curls. The key to bicep curls is keeping your shoulders back and down and stable. Lifting up tall, your elbows are the pivot point. Your upper arms stay still. When we're working too hard, whoa, we tend to do that, so don't do that. You want to keep your upper body still. Keep those shoulders steady as your hands drift up and back down. You'll find when your shoulders are still, your core has to do more work to support you. Breathing. Again, keeping that upper body still. You might pair your breathing with a movement, so exhaling when it's easier, inhaling when it's easier, exhaling when it's harder. Breathing. 2 more. Last one. Set your weights down for a moment, shake your arms out. Good. Holding those weights again, this time alternating bicep curls. So one hand drifts up as the other hand drifts down. You'll notice that your core has to work a little bit harder. If you're standing, your core works even harder yet. So one foot half a step in front of the other gives your low back more support. So lots of ways to adapt how difficult or easy this is. Sitting, standing, heavier weights, going slower is generally harder here, using muscles, not momentum. Finding the pace that's right for your body. 3, 2, 1, and down. This next exercise, you can use heavier or lighter weights. We're going to do an overhead press. So again, really depends on what your body's okay with. If you have any shoulder trouble, you definitely want to go with a lighter weight. Keeping the shoulders back and down. You want the muscles to be doing the work, but no pain in the joint itself. So again, doing what's okay for your body. Pressing up, chin stays parallel with the floor. Keeping the spine nice and tall as you're pressing up here. Keeping your chin parallel with the floor keeps your neck in neutral, protects the neck. Again, doing what's okay for your body. One more, if that feels okay for you. And down. Shake that arm out all the way up to the shoulder. Good. Switching to the other side, lifting tall, chin stays parallel with the floor. What you can do on one side might be different than what you can do on the other. So really paying attention to what your body's okay with. Keeping the jaw soft, breathing in and out. And maybe exhaling when it's harder. Inhaling when it's easier. Two more, if that feels okay for your body. Last one. And down. Shake that arm all the way up to the shoulder. Picking up your other weight, you'll notice as I'm doing this, I'm pressing my feet into the ground. My legs are doing the work to lift me up, not my back. Lifting up tall, again, you can do this either seated or standing. Shoulders stay back and down. As you're doing these deltoid lifts, we tend to use the tops of our shoulders. Let those guys relax. Don't use the tops. Instead, use the outer part of your upper shoulder. This is the muscle that we want to focus on doing the work here. So shoulders stay down and relaxed as your hands drift up and out to the side and back down. Focusing on that outer part of your upper shoulder doing the work. Again, chin parallel with the floor. Breathing, keeping your core strong. Going as high as your body's okay with. We tend to overcompensate with those upper shoulder muscles when we get tired. So it's not about how high you can go, it's about going as high as your deltoids, those outer shoulder muscles are okay with. So making sure you're focusing on using the right muscles to do this exercise. One more. You won't injure yourself if you go higher, it's just not as effective. Good, setting one leg down. Let your hands sway forward and back. And then scissor across. 3, 2, 1, and down. Next exercise, focusing on the back of the upper arm, the triceps. So you can do this multiple ways. You can hinge forward, tuck your elbow in, and let your pinky come up. Or you can lift up tall, keeping the elbow still, letting your hand drift back behind you. Or if you want extra challenge, you can be in a lunge position, let your body do the work to hold you up. Whichever position you choose, your upper arm should stay still and steady. If your upper arm is still, then you're isolating the triceps, the back of the upper arm. If the upper arm is moving, then those triceps aren't working as hard. So as much as possible, keeping that upper arm still as your elbow is the pivot point. One more. If you're hinged forward, use your legs to press yourself up. Shake those arms out. Switch to the other side. Again, you've got those 3 options. You can hinge forward, you can bring your hand to the ceiling, or you can be in a lunge position. Finding the one that works for your body. There's no right way here. Keeping that upper arm still. Two more. Good, we'll do a little bit of wrist and forearm work. You're gonna let your forearm rest along your thigh. So your knuckles are before your knee, your whole arm is resting on your leg here. Curling up, so your wrist is the pivot point, the back of your hand comes up and then back down. So your forearm, I'll turn to the side so you can see your forearm stays still, feeling those muscles on the underside of your forearm do the work to curl your hand up and back down. One more. And shake your wrist out. So real light weights work very well for this. Those wrist muscles respond really well with smaller, lighter weights. Other side, again, that forearm resting along your thigh, curling up at the wrist, and back down. If I'm doing a lot of note writing, I find these muscles are the ones that get used in the tops of the forearm. So these are great if you're planning on doing a lot of writing. Also good if you're like trying to open jars, anything where your wrists or forearms need to do the work. 2 more. And come up, shake that wrist out. Now working the top of the wrist, letting your forearm is resting. The wrist crease is at your knees as your wrist comes up and back down, feeling the top of your forearm doing the work. Again, no strain in the joints here, just the muscles. Two more. And shaking that arm out. Other side. Feeling the top of your forearm do the work here. Breathing. Two more. And shake your hands out. Good, you can set that weight down. Lifting up tall, this next exercise, make sure your spine stays long. It doesn't curl like a seashell, it stays nice and straight. The knee of the leg being crossed stays still, spine stays tall as you cross the leg over and back down. And over and back down. This is one of those cases where slower is harder. So slow motion, using muscles, not momentum. Again, keeping the core strong and the spine nice and tall. Doesn't matter how high your leg goes over. The form, keeping your spine tall and that knee being crossed still, that's what gives you the really the benefits of this exercise. One more. And down, shake your legs out. Lifting up tall, switching to the other side, crossing and back down. Keeping your jaw soft. Spine stays tall. And making sure you're inhaling and exhaling. One more, keeping that spine nice and tall. And down, shake your legs out. Good. Coming toward the front of your chair, pull your feet underneath you, leaning forward, nose over toes, push your way up, and come behind your chair. I'll move my chair to the side so that you can see what I'm doing. We'll start with heel lifts. So this is a great exercise for building balance. Lifting up tall, knees stay soft, bringing your weight onto your toes, and drifting back down. Up onto your toes, and drifting back down. Good, think about your ascent taking the same amount of time as your descent. Keeping it smooth and slow and steady. 2 more. and back to a walk. This next one, your feet are going to stay touching each other. So your feet are touching as you're coming up onto your toes and back down. Notice how changing your feet changes your balance. You're working a little bit different section of those calf muscles, but it's also a balance challenge. Again, slow and steady. Breathing. One more. And back to a walk. This next exercise, you're going to lift one set of toes and then the other. And you're going to make sure that your hips stay still. So what we tend to do, if we did both feet, is to stick our hips out. So don't do that. Instead, you want to focus on keeping your hips still as you lift one set of toes and then the other. When your hips stay still, you're isolating your shin and ankle muscles. So if you tend to shuffle, or if you notice that you're tripping over sidewalks, or like the transition pieces in doorways, it's a great exercise to help build up the strength of your ankle muscles so that you can walk heel to toe without tripping or slipping or falling. 3, 2, 1, and walk a little. And this is a great exercise to practice in front of a mirror so you can see whether or not your hips are moving. Again, lifting up one set of toes and then the other. If you're able to do this and your hips aren't moving at all, you can try moving up both sets of toes. Again, the key is to keep your hips still and make your shin and ankle muscles do the work. You can do this seated, and then your hips aren't going to move at all because you're seated. So it's less weight bearing, but it really isolates the muscles. So you can adapt, play with it, see what works best for your body. 2 more. And back to a walk. This next exercise is for the SI joint stabilizing muscles. So it's a really micro movement. Lifting up tall out of one hip, you're going to keep that hip totally still. The other leg, knee straight, the heel's going to come up just a little bit and back down. So what we tend to do is shift our full hips. Instead, keep your hips still, just the heel, just that leg moves back. So you're focusing on keeping your hips steady as your leg bone moves back and comes back to center. Again, it's a tiny movement, really working those stabilizing muscles at the low back. 1 more. And back to a walk. And again, most of us have one side where this is a little easier, one side where this is a little harder. Switching to the other side, keeping your hips as still and steady as you can. Again, it's just a micro movement, letting your leg move, but keeping your hips still. Working those stabilizing muscles. And again, most of us have one side where this is a little harder. You have to really concentrate to keep the hips still. One side where maybe it's a little bit easier. 2 more. Keep breathing. And back to a walk. We're going to do the same thing, but now the leg lifts forward. So maybe your knee stays a little bit bent. Again, lifting tall out of the hip you're standing on, keeping your hips still. Just the leg moves forward. Maybe you move forward an inch. It's really a micro movement. Working on the stabilizers for the hip muscles. The knee of the leg you're standing on stays soft. 2 more. And back to a walk. Shifting to the other side, lifting tall. Knee stays a little bit bent so that your leg can move forward without dragging on the floor. And back. Really focusing on keeping those hips still. Breathing. Two more. to a walk. Good. Again, standing behind your chair for balance, lifting up tall. Keeping the hip of the leg you're standing on still. Don't slump out. Instead, pull that hip underneath you. Keep the knees soft. Lifting your other heel out to the side and back down. So you can do this holding onto the chair for balance. I'm going to come to the front so you can see my feet. You can see as I'm stepping out, your toe can stay connected to the floor if you need help with the balance. And back in, but you want your feet to stay parallel. What we tend to do is let our working foot drift forward and off to the side. Instead, you want your feet in the same plane, parallel with each other. You could imagine your big toes have rubber bands around them, connecting them together so they can't get very far apart. You can be even a little pigeon-toed, feeling those glutes do the work. One more. And back to a walk. So the hip of the leg you're standing on is working, the hip of the leg you're working is working. Lifting tall, shifting to the other side. Again, keeping your feet parallel and in the same plane, not letting your foot drift out or to the side. You can glance down if you need to make sure that your feet are staying parallel. Again, great exercise to practice in front of the mirror so you can see what your feet are doing. One more. And back to a walk. Good. Let's have a seat again. So making sure the back of your leg touches the back of your chair, drifting down, slow and steady. Glutes are supporting you like a feather. Shake your legs out. Good. We're doing a little mental exercise. So if you've done this before, this may seem a little easy. You can always add challenges. If it feels totally confusing, that's good. It means your brain is working hard, and don't worry, it will get easier. So you're going to start by lifting one set of toes in the opposite heel and back down. Other side. What we tend to do is lift the toes and forget the heel, so make sure both your toes and your opposite heel are lifting up. If you want, you can add your hands in tandem. Feeling those ankle muscles working, feeling the hemispheres of your brain going side to side. So your feet are going to keep working, but your hands are going to, like they're clearing off a table. You're going to go side to side here. 3, 2. Now your hands are going to go up and down. You're going to fishtail your feet out and back in. These are the kinds of exercises that you can incorporate into your day. So every time you go through a doorway, do something that's mentally challenging. Or every time you pick up a spoon, do an exercise like this. It's a way to keep your mind sharp, keep your mind and body connected. And switch back to opposite toe and heel as your hands pivot back and forth. 3, 2, 1, and down. Shake a leg, shake the other leg. Good. Lifting up tall, you're going to pull your toes up toward your head. Feel the stretch in the base of your soles of your feet. Feel the shin muscles working, and soften. Bring your heels up. Make sure your calves don't cramp here. Feeling your calf muscles work, and down. Extending the leg up, feel the thigh, and down. Feel the other thigh, and down. Push your heels into the ground, feel your glutes and hamstrings working, and soften. Engage your belly, and soften. Take a breath in, feel your ribs expand. Feel them relax. Shrug your shoulders. Let them unshrug. Squeeze your fists. Unsqueeze them. Scrunch your face. Unscrunch it. Scrunch your forehead. Unscrunch. And then 3 soft, deep breaths. Feeling your whole body. Feeling what your body feels like now that you've worked now that you're ready to rest. One more soft, deep breath in and out. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed it. Take care of yourselves, and we'll look forward to seeing you again soon.